forth from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Lauren said call out in New York City. Says she coming home cause she must start to play. Lauren said call out in New York City. Says she coming home cause she must start to play. If you hear she ballin', I need a little runaway. Lauren coming home for carnival, I need a little runaway. This woman not back, she party bag, I need a little runaway. She tell all she friend and family, I need a little runaway. If you see Lauren, everywhere she go, what she whine and rollin'. Every video that in she phone, is she whine and rollin'. All over the road, what she whine and rollin'. When the rhythm hitting she soul, what she whine and rollin'. Say she only got one life, can't stay on the job site. Make a memory for a lifetime that could last. Yeah, come on baby, knock a glass with two eyes. She don't catch feelings, she catch flights. So she coming back to the sunshine paradise. Lauren said call out in New York City. Says she coming home cause she must start to play. Lauren said call out in New York City. Says she coming home cause she must start to play. If you hear she ballin', I need a little runaway. Lauren coming home for carnival, I need a little runaway. This woman not back, she party bag, I need a little runaway. She tell all she friend and family, I need a little runaway. If you see Lauren, everywhere she she whine and rolling? Every video that in she phone, is she whine and rolling? All over the road, what she whine and rolling? When the rhythm hitting she soul, what she whine and rolling?
It's the Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music and vibes to start your day right.
Lauren saying call out in New York.
And of course, yes, that is what we intend to do. Make sure we start your day right. Make sure we start your week right, your month right. Whatever you're starting today, we are starting it right with you. So, good morning, Trinidad. Good morning to Tobago. Neighbors in the Caribbean, how are they doing? Friends who are streaming all around the globe, thank you very much for being here. It is New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. This is where we take you above and beyond. I want to say much thanks to Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. All that we do there, God, let it be a blessing, honor to you.
All over the road,
I am yours truly, Sir Charles. Happy am I to be in your company this morning. It's a really beautiful day, and of course, we're going to do all that we can to make sure it's a very special day. Of course, you are listening to New Era TT Radio.
Say she only got one life.
And remember, this is the Get Up and Go. We welcome you inside of the Breakfast Show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Hey, we get a little reverb, and that's what they call it, reverb.
Yeah, a little reverb.
You see,
Coming in between there.
yeah, I know a lot of young people would say, "What did he just say? What is reverb? What does that mean?" You know. Anyway, good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's an absolutely beautiful Monday morning, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And of course, last night was a blood moon. I don't know if anybody got up and saw it, but if you go outside now, well, just a while ago,
Yeah, it
the
was
moon
there.
absolutely beautiful in the sky. I mean, you should not miss things like this. I mean, for us early risers and non-sleepers, trust me, it's a joy to behold. It's nature and God in it. Well, if you believe in God, I have to say that now because I'm starting to realize there's lots of people who do believe in God.
No, you're right, you know.
I
You're
find it
right.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you do believe in God, I mean that's an example of His creation out there. I mean, something has to explain that. It didn't just come about, you know. So you may have an explanation. I certainly don't, you know. But yeah, we're here in the land of the living. Condolences to those who would have lost loved ones. And of course, Richard may be a little late this morning if he comes in at all, but hopefully he'll come in because we have Minister of Local Government and Rural Development in the next hour. We just have her for a short while, Minister Khadija Ameen, because today is the start of school. So she will be doing her visits in some of her areas and whatnot. So today, of course, is Monday, September. Where are we, Sir Charles? Is it 8th?
Yeah, we had the 8th this day.
Yeah, the 8th. Yesterday actually was 10 years, the 10-year anniversary of the change of government in 2015. You know that? The government changed on September 7th, 2015. Yeah. And that went by. I didn't see a post. I didn't see much about it. I didn't see anything about it, actually. You know? Maybe people posted it. Maybe the opposition leader, the new political leader, said something about it, but I just didn't see it. So if anybody has anything that was said about it, 10 years, yesterday. Send it for me. All right, but happy birthday to Wendell Maskell, Garth Alexander, my neighbor, Stacy Charles, Anna Maguire. Yesterday was Malika Blair happy birthday. She used to be the deputy mayor of Port of San Fernando. Yesterday was also the birthday of David Abdullah and Asalma Mohammed, whom I haven't seen or heard from a long time. Yesterday was 2 days ago, was Darren Million's birthday. Anybody know him? He feel he's a young boy. 2 days ago was his birthday. So happy birthday to those. All right. Well, we have a nice show for you today. We have some nice good news. And we have some.
I thought you don't want to come along, and everybody believe that they tell them the file too big. Okay.
Which one? The one with
Yeah, the last one you talk, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, we could show it at some point in time.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So, well, go ahead now and do good news, and then we will get into, unless you have something you want to say.
No, let's do the good news, and then we will come back.
Yeah, because if Richard was here, he'd have been talking. We don't have a problem when Richard here to talk.
Easy man don't love to talk.
But he had his play over the weekend, people, and at 1 o'clock, somewhere around 1 o'clock this morning, he messaged us after maybe several Heinekens and say he may not make it.
But he had so much celebration after that play.
I would imagine, But anyway, let's get into good news.
Brother?
Oh,
How you doing?
hello.
So good to see
Oh,
you
my
again. What's up, brother? How you feeling? You good? Wow.
나 36년 동안
Wow.
당신을 이기기 위해서 기다렸어.
My dad said he's wait 36 years.
Wow. So good to see you, my
Yeah.
brother. Wow.
Was to get in the ring.
My brother.
We got something for you.
이거는 저 88년 서울 올림픽 금메달입니다.
It's the 88 Olympic
88년도 서울에서 내 홈에서 이 금메달을 가져갔습니다. 근데 지금은 내가 잘못된 걸 알고 지금 로이 존스 주니어의 홈에서 내가 이 메달을
He won the gold at the time. He had the gold, but he wants to give back to you. That it belongs to you.
올림. 와우.
That is crazy.
Under a minute left. Second round, and Jones caught Park with a counter. And another left hook, although the crowd reacted to the right by Park that grazed Jones. And yes, a standing eight. We're live from Seoul, Korea. We'll stay here between rounds as you can count down round number 2. Again, Jones staggering Park.
Leave your calling card and take off right there.
Ooh, that was an emphatic calling card. He had Park staggered.
I don't know what they're waiting for. That's not a standing eight. I don't know what is.
But not much there for Park Si-han.
Oh, that hook was so hard, Leone just about took a full step in to stop it.
Roy Jones building up a tremendous lead and should be 15 seconds away from the gold. It is all over. Roy Jones and Park Si-han will be back with the decision.
If he doesn't win the goal off this, then I think there's something rotten in Korea, because that is absolutely one of the most dominant things I've seen.
In the blue corner.
There it is. Park Si-han has stolen the belt.
I don't know if our boxers will ever.
Now, for those who
What I
don't
think-
understand that story, when I saw it, I said, my paws raised. This was 36 years ago in the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, Korea, where Roy Jones Jr., an American boxer, fought against Park Si-han. I think that's the name, right? And he beat the Korean. And at the end of the bout, they gave the Korean the gold medal. Well, the Korean just couldn't live it down. And he said he never boxed after that. The Korean boxer. Roy Jones went on to be a professional boxer and so on, right? But the Korean guy never boxed after that. And 36 years later, he went and found Roy Jones Jr. and gave him the gold medal because he knew that he deserved that gold medal. Isn't that something?
That is really something else, because when I looked at it, I was saying, but 36 years, that he been carrying that weight with him for a long time.
Yeah.
That's like a jail sentence or something,
Yeah. It is amazing that what human beings are capable of doing. You understand? And this is all across the globe. You understand? So if you don't know the story, Google it, check it out. But it's a beautiful story. It's an international story, and we thought we should bring it as part of our good news this morning. We have a next one that unfortunately it's a little bit long, but with Curry Marcel and Penelope Beckers presenting a laptop to a young man in the Beetham area who got 8 C-sec subjects. I think his name is Brendan D'Souza, Sir Charles.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, who did exceptionally well, and of course today, the first day of school, he would have been presented with that by MP Curry Marcel yesterday. And I thought that Shuma sent it to me. Morning, Shuma, his mom. And I thought that was also great news. But even better news is the fact that all school children are back out today. I haven't heard any situation coming up with schools. In the delays.
Yet. Not yet.
Yet.
First day, second day, and then by the third day, everybody started to close back the school.
Yeah. But the good news is that prepare for bumper monster traffic as if it ever stopped. I don't think it ever stopped. Prepare for monster traffic as of today. All right? So that's our good news segment. You can end it off there, Sir Charles.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I guess we could get straight into the chat and greet people on the chat this morning.
Yeah. All those who checked in early.
Yeah. Anthony Tinto woke up very early, 12:02 a.m. Tinto, it must be getting cold in Canada though. I could well imagine. Grand rising to the breakfast crew and to all locked on. Shalom at work. He's at work. Susan Jessup came in also dead on the same time as Tinto, 12:02. Glory be unto God. Great guest this morning. Of course, our guest is Minister Khadija Ameen. Valerie Mendoza says good morning. Brennan Smith, good morning.
Morning, Valerie.
Sorry?
I said good morning to Valerie. I'm following Richard Trend.
Yes. The great
I'm trying to remember all the people though.
Yeah, Richard, the show a distinct bias for certain people. I wouldn't tell him. I wouldn't call him names.
I will try to pick up the names as he goes along.
When I slow down after the name, you'll know who it is, right? Donna Ramlochan says, special thanks to the TTPS for a great result extraction of our well-loved captain. Well, that's also good news. That Captain Roger Kewal was rescued by the anti-kidnapping squad. Definitely. And of course, one of his hostage keepers or takers was shot and killed in an alleged exchange with the TTPS. The commissioner was very forthright about it yesterday. He is leading the charges in all these things. So that's also good news. Thanks for reminding us, Donna. Marcia Rock says, good morning, gentlemen. Happy Monday. Do have a great lockdown from Orlando, Florida. Margaret Thomas says, good morning. Marlon Motley says, good morning, guys. Happy Monday to all. That's where Richard would say, morning, Marlon.
Morning, Marlon. Marlon.
Here's one. Slick Money Grip says, good morning. Michael Cadet and Noel. Erica Charles, also says, she's covering everyone under the blood of Jesus Christ, especially the children and teachers as they go back to school. Felix Kazo says, good morning. Wendy Ann and Frank James also says, good morning. Have a productive week. Boy Videsi from Debe. Ava Smith, Diane Payne says, have a nice day. Look out for the children as they head out to school. Robert Taylor says, good morning. Richard would say a special morning.
Morning, Robert.
It also says,
I try to keep up, you know, but I try to do so many other things too. Oh my God! This watch out! Look, this radius. I give up.
Udell Guy says good morning. Julia Batiste, Pearl and Stacey Ann Cordis from Brazil Village also sends prayers to the school children and all the school drivers. Richard Jeremiah, Wayne Ramsey, Norris Ferguson, Katian Charles, good morning to the breakfast show. Katian came online with me on Friday. Had a nice
good morning, Katian.
Joan, Cyrus, Garvin, Frank, Apollonus, Andrea, I guess Andrea's abroad. Sherwin and Juliet Kerr. Right. Carol Guevara.
I missed the cue there.
You're missing the cue, man. Carl M. Jack, Ila Rizan, that's Nazir Ali, Eunice Dublin, Claire Lendo, Rollins Lambert, Bruce Rena Jennings.
Morning, Rena.
Kenny in Harlem, Alistair Hart, Garfield Hazel, Diane Payne. She's speaking about the the giving of the gold medal to Roy Jones. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Kathy Ann Townsend, the young man is from St. Barb's. Okay, I thought it was Beaton. My apologies. David McCarthy, Diana Hamill. Yes, Carl, I said that. I was reminded by Donna Ramlo Chan. CJ from New York. Good morning, everyone. Have a wonderful day. That's when Richard will also come in. Yes, Ambrose Sankofa says, Mother Randy used to say, greetings, have an anointed day, nation. Debbie Modest, Alistair Hart Wendell, did you see the man who was placed under citizen's arrest in a gas station in Central for kidnapping her? No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all, Alistair. All right, so those are all the greetings on the chat.
All right, so let me say good morning to the folks on the WhatsApp, and good morning to all our people on Gael Caribbean. And remember, all of you Gael fans, remember you can also drop us a message. We'd love to hear from you guys. So good morning to Terry Ann Peters, who was first off the board this morning. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada, good day to you. Colin in Caranage, probably on his way to work. Slick Money Grip, good morning. Horatio, good morning to you, my friend, long time. Joyce Phillips, good morning. Far Rockaway. Yeah, good morning to you, my friend. And of course, Mr. Beeps. Mark Mr. Beeps. I think Mr. Beeps is from somewhere down in the west. I don't want to place him in the wrong place. But good morning to all of you people on the chat.
Right. Yeah. We have a new name coming in there, Merle McComey. Good morning, guys. Have a blessed day. And
morning, Merle.
Thanks for joining us, Merle.
Yeah.
Let me say a special good morning to a couple people. Amjad Ali from Furniture Plus, Gary Adge from Chanfleur Auto, Mano from Mano's on Park Street there.
Yeah. All they go by Mano's. Tell him the breakfast cruise and all.
Yeah. Just go by Mano and as I say, tell him the breakfast show sent you and you'll get special treatment. You might get to skip that long line he has in there sometimes. Well, most mornings. And you see with school opening back, trust me, all them parents and them who can't get up and make a sandwich this morning is straight by Mano's they headed. You understand?
First when they grow. Yeah. Let me say good morning to Zena, who's up early also.
Morning, Zena.
This morning, yeah. Zena been having some late days, I don't know what Zena doing these days, but hey, but it's good to see her. She's up early this morning.
What, she seeing about plants or the ceramic pigs? Well, she could be seeing about. What keeping you up, Zena? Weights? Lifted weights? What keeping you up? Let me leave Zena alone. Morning, my darling. And good morning to Lincoln. So all right, let's pay some bills, and then when we come back, we'll do the headlines and so on. All right.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box. Drinking out of the box.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Experiencing stomach pain, nausea, heartburn, bloating, or loss of appetite. These could be signs of a stomach ulcer, which can lead to cancer if untreated. Your health isn't an expense, it's an investment. Don't wait. Get a safe, non-invasive stomach skin plus blood test for only $500 at the Institute of Health and Fitness. Located at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tanapune and Marabella. Contact us at 336-4935.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, so we are back.
Yes, we are. We are
This
indeed
is the
back.
breakfast show on New Era TT Radio and, of course, Gael Caribbean, right? So make sure you tune in and go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe. That's very important. We have to get to 100,000 likes shortly, so please do. Before we get into everything else, I want to tell you what I consider to be real good service that I saw play out with somebody. Well, when I say good service, I'm not talking about Trinidad and Tobago, but forgive me, right? But I was talking to somebody over the weekend there when the person ordered something from Amazon. The person ordered this thing from Amazon on Thursday evening. Amazon delivered it on Saturday. Saturday before lunch, the person got this stuff. Quick time, eh? Anyhow.
They had Amazon Prime, obviously.
Well, not. But the thing about it is that when the person got the package, it looked like if somebody had interfered with the package. It was torn and maybe the item may have been used and stuff. So call Amazon. No question asked, no thing. We will replace it. That replacement came Sunday.
Wow. Okay.
The replacement came Sunday and she got $25 discount off the product. And she still has the other old one to read because they say by Wednesday they give her a place she could drop it off and that sort of thing. So she still has that. Got the new one, properly well packaged, pristine and everything now, and got a 25% discount. Where in Trinidad we could get service like that?
I could answer that. No, nowhere.
Because, you know, I know people here who have gone to retail stores, bought TVs, fridge, stove, all manner of stuff, clothes, and when they get it, it's either damaged, it's not working properly, and pressure to get back your money, one, or to get the item replaced.
Yeah.
You know?
I've always heard that Amazon, you can return items at Amazon. Now I've never tried it, even though I last time I ordered some lights on my vehicle, I got the wrong lights. I ordered the wrong thing, I actually think, right? I didn't check because Amazon, you have to be very careful and make sure.
Yeah, you have to be sure what you're
are correct. But I got the wrong thing. But anyway, but they're brand new still. And I have it there, and I just said, one of these, I need to return this because I paid a tidy sum for it, headlights for my vehicle, and but of course it's a lot cheaper than if you buy it here. But I've never tried returning an item to them, but I've always heard that they respond quickly to people. I don't know.
Yeah. And it just goes to show you see, I don't know if because the American public, they don't make joke. They when they need to get things changed or refunded, they will kick up a real fuss. So these retailers have respect for the customers.
You ever you ever travel and go in a Walmart and go by the return section in a Walmart?
No,
if you see the amount of items inside of that area, and sometimes the lines for returning an item, because in America, I'm sure a lot of you all know, if you buy an item and then you go down the road and it's cheaper and you want to return it, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
That is not a problem if you decide to return something because you're getting it cheaper somewhere. Not in Trinidad.
No, I remember somebody bought a washing machine or refrigerator, whatever it is. The thing started to give trouble immediately. You understand? And they're telling the person they can't comfort you. They send a technician to see if any parts replaceable first. I say,
yeah, but not by Furniture Plus. My experience with Furniture Plus is that they always respond. Some people may have had bad experiences, but my experiences with them, and even when I intervene on behalf of them, is that they always respond.
Yeah. Huh? Well, yeah, but I don't talk about Furniture, but I talk about some other big megas. People,
big stores.
Yeah, these people with big stores.
Yeah. Mega stores.
Yeah, but maybe, why, man? Yeah. And then they have some other people with no standards and no kind of, man. I'd be careful.
Yeah. So Charles, you're waxing philosophical this morning.
Anyhow, I just thought I was interested because I just look at how there's a respect for the consumer.
Yeah.
They don't don't take you don't take for granted. And in Trinidad we need to get there. I hope we get there maybe in the next century or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Get there. I meet good service restaurant wise and so on in Trinidad too. I have to admit. Yesterday I went to yesterday. I went to UPIC for breakfast. I've never done it there. I've always heard about UPIC. I've gone once before, but it wasn't for breakfast. But I decided to try breakfast yesterday down at UPIC. And I am impressed with that place. I truly am. UPIC is down in Chagamas, the road to Macrip. I don't know if people know it. But I was impressed, and the service was pretty good. The food was great too, So I have to give UPIC a little
plug. UPIC, you need to come on board here.
For sure.
Yay.
Anyway, let's get into the headlines and we can take a few of your calls because we do have a guest in the next hour. Not for the entire hour, but she will accommodate us for a few minutes. So today's Express. Today, of course, is September 8th. It's the first day of school, just in case you did not know it. Before, it says before Marval rescued 2 kidnapped suspects held using pilot's bank card. Now, when I hear that,
Yeah.
anyway, you see how sometimes, as they say, God works in mysterious ways. You kidnap a man, you call in for a ransom, but you're going to use his bank card. You can't be so stupid. Anyway, you are stupid.
Well, yeah, they definitely are.
You are stupid. Good for you. Kidnapped Carl pilot found in Marval. Suspect killed as kidnapped Carl pilot is rescued. Wife of Senate President Mark appointed new E-Tech chair. And I wanted to respond to somebody who said something in the chat, about family getting contracts and things. I don't know if you know that that's a norm, folks?
Yeah, that's a no.
Regardless of what government. Regardless of what government. Sex videos.
And you know how,
sorry?
Yeah, and I was saying, how sometimes the public gets wind of it only after, because people carry different names. So wife might be carrying one name, husband carrying a next name. That's why I realize that is why people in government and in certain positions, people just keep the name.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
because
keep them out of the news.
That issue of conflict of interest comes up all the time. Regardless of what government, regardless of what institution, it comes up all the time. I know that banks had a policy that husband and wife can't work in the same branch. I don't know if that still obtains, but I know that banks had that policy. I don't know if it still happens. Anyway, sex videos, man held after teacher extorted for $3,800. And of course, those are trending stories in today's Express. Which one are you doing, Sir Charles?
The Guardian.
All right. So I'll come back in with the news there.
Yeah, and in the Guardian with a 1,000 stories and advertisements. Carl pilot rescued, cops kill 1, hold 3 kidnappers after raiding Marval hideout. Manhunt on for 2 others. All right. Minister says cops will stay out of the way in schools. U.S. military presence in Caribbean. Regional ministers hoping for meeting with Trump regime. And Gleaner editorial slams Kamala on support for U.S. military strike. Gleaner is what, in Barbados or something like that?
Where's that?
With the Gleaner, the newspaper.
Gleaner is Jamaica.
Jamaica. Sobers, TNT properly represented at Africa CARICOM Summit, and Antigua PM Brown urges African Caribbean Coalition to connect. We must stand apart no longer. All right, stories in the Guardian.
All right, and today's Newsday, Carl pilot found alive. Former Senator, U.S. presence in Caribbean about Austin Maduro, not drugs. 46 years behind bars, a man's fight for freedom after a lifetime in prison. Rain Bowman, 19, studies nuclear engineering at Georgia Tech. Man arrested for demanding money with, I guess, his menaces. The high price of low literacy. 10 arrested after prison-led threat operation. And of course, Minister Sean Sobers said that there's no conflict with Venezuela. I'm not sure Minister Sean Sobers is aware of what some of the Venezuelan ministers have been saying, but he said there's no conflict with Venezuela. So that's good news, all right? And of course, one of the main stories is that armed police officers will be in school as of today. So we will be polling that as our poll this morning, all right?
Interesting developments taking place all around. Yeah. But this whole situation with the pilot that was rescued and stuff, I mean, I'll say hats off to the TTPS, because they're always coming in for bashing. We just bash them hard when it's ready. But I'm happy to see that they through the different agencies. And when I looked at the amount of different agencies, this one, that one, intelligence, I said, what, boy? Somebody had to have tight rein on that, because with all of these different agencies, there's some information might leak out somewhere. But they were able to get back the gentleman, safe, and he's safe, and that's most important.
That's most important.
Yeah.
That's most important.
It just goes to show how sometimes people move into your neighborhood and people in the neighborhood say that they didn't know anything. They just saw the police
But they had
action.
called the first time this kidnapping story come out, it was people in the neighborhood saw a struggle going on and had called the police. You understand? They
In the
had called
Marabou
the
area,
police.
that is when they had taken him from where he was. I think that was from where they took him from where he was, you know. That they heard some struggle and screams and all the manner of stuff was taking place. You know, but hats off to them for, you know, sending a strong message, as the commissioner is saying, you know, that this whole thing of kidnapping for ransom will not be tolerated. Because we had a real problem with that in the past, eh? It's a frightening thing.
Yeah. I'm also getting a story from that about schools that Pastor Coffee has this way of putting out these full ads. Eh? So he has a full ad in today's paper. Well, I don't know if it's today's papers that says his school cannot open. His school is unable to open in the upcoming term. This was a story from September 1st because of windows, louvers, and blades. No, that would even read it. Right? But that's one of these stories. But let me just say, just to respond to a couple of things in the chat before we open the line. David Ware says the right and middle lane is blocked by a pile of mud when entering the lighthouse. I guess the lighthouse in Port of Spain he means. Leaving only one lane open. And let me tell you something, they always have traffic, regardless. So
what was the reason for that?
I don't know. The water did some work in the area. You understand? And also to respond to someone who clearly is not, and goes by the name Jasodra Ram Kalawan. Jasodra, I was one of the people who didn't have a problem with Mrs. Prasad Bisesa having her sister as a nurse. I think what happened there was the expenditure associated with it. But I didn't have a problem, and I wouldn't have a problem now if she has a personal nurse either. You understand? Because she is at that stage in her life, she's clearly frail and not well. If she has a personal nurse, guess what? I didn't have a problem with it then, and I won't have a problem with it now. Family members getting contracts or having businesses and so on, I don't know how that could preclude you from getting work. How this place too small. You understand? As long as you declare interests and so on, I don't see that problem. So this story that's coming up about Senator Cummings it come up years ago when he was in government. They're bringing it back again. Where's the problem? So people can't earn an honest dollar at the end of the day. It's stupid.
Yeah. What you have to do is make sure we have things and checks and balances in place so that people can't take advantage of it.
It's not corrupt. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So many people right now have a sister or a wife or some kind of thing who's on a board or whatever. I don't have a problem with those things. Me personally, if people have a problem with it, fine, we talk about it. I don't have a problem with it. Right? So let's open up the lines and we'll take some call. Oh, Robert Harper is saying a water line broke last night in the area. Wow, what a time for a water line to break.
Yeah, the night before school opened.
Yeah.
Imagine what taking place on that beach I'm heading into Port of Spain right now.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Anyhow, so people, the lines are open to you, 281-1315. Let's take your calls. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Morning, Miss Mendoza.
Good morning, Wendell.
Morning.
So, after 2 months and a week of school, I hope students are happy to be out of school today. I hope they are happy and don't give trouble because the police in the school, right? I can't wait till the end of the day to hear how that worked out, and how long it will be sustained for. Because they said 2 officers will be patrolling the schools and so on. And that had to be a sustainable thing. And they said it chose 50 schools. So I don't know how they came up with the schools, as if there were schools that had more fights than anything else. So
well, that's
about.
Yeah, that's statistics and things.
Yeah, I think that might be how the figures choose the schools. So I hope having police officers in school will contain the violence in schools. But you know something, for me, that still doesn't solve the problem, you know. Because these children definitely still have
Well, we
issues.
don't know yet, Ms. Mendoza. We don't know if it will solve the problem. We gotta give it a chance.
Well, true.
Yeah, you gotta get
True. I kind of going past myself, you know.
Yeah.
It may appear to solve the problem, but these students still have issues because they won't behave just so, you know, and that will come as if nothing will be done still. So they might take all those issues on some other thing. Remember, don't go ahead of myself too much, huh? So, and all students who are going to school for the first time, Form 1 students, congratulations. Secondary school is now starting for you all. You can now say a certain good thing. So take care of yourselves during the day, and please, people transport those drivers on the road. The road already laid out there, you know. That'll end up in hospital or in cemetery. Take your time on the road. Take your time on the roads, please, because we are having too many road accidents.
Yeah.
You know, so that is my positive thing for this morning. Until we talk the next thing I like on another day. Y'all have a nice day.
All right,
Okay.
thank you very much.
And you know what I would love to see? I think I saw a story there, something about police and body cams again. Those police officers that they put in the schools, make sure they have on body cams.
Yeah,
please.
make sure.
Make sure they have on body cams. All right?
Yeah.
All right? So 281-1315, you can call in now and
good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
I am concerned about police being armed in schools. As I said to Superintendent Alexander, the Beyond the Tape program, when all you are given is a hammer, everything appears to be a nail. Right? I would prefer the police to be armed with pepper spray and tasers. Because what I have seen in these gang fights in school, a firearm is not the tool to be used where school children is concerned. Body cameras, pepper spray, and maybe a taser as a last resort. Because when you have 15 children fighting and a mob around them, get cackling and things like hyenas, I don't think a firearm is the most appropriate tool to have for a police officer in schools. I'm just giving my opinion about that situation, right?
All right.
But I want to endorse the last caller's statement and give the children and them heartfelt congratulations and good luck in the next term of school. All right. But another thing too, reference the family members and thing being appointed. All I would hope that happens where that is concerned is the correct 10 years are being done for they to get the job, to compete with everyone else, and if they get the job, they are qualified, they have the right equipment. If it's things like road paving and things, they just ain't get the job and they just sublet it out to somebody, or they have the skills to do the job. This man who is in charge of WASA now, who they take from the bottom of the barrel and remove a man who was highly qualified to reform WASA, and you put this new man now who was at the bottom of the barrel to run WASA, is not a qualified posting as far as I'm concerned. The last time they were in charge, they did that with I forget this girl name who was in charge of SAS. Unqualified. We take a receptionist and put her in charge of SSA, whatever it was. It was a set of unqualified people, a set of people with false papers. These are the concerns that I have under the UNC regime.
Okay, no problem. Thanks very much, Lincoln. You know, at the end of the day, the gentleman is a new appointee. I talk about the WASA situation, you know, and even though
he's been in WASA for a while, you know.
Yeah, even though you're saying might be that's it, you know, to say that he may not have the papers, but experience might be plenty, might be able to make so much changes and differences in
But we
between.
don't know if he don't have the papers either. We don't know that.
And that's the next thing too. We are just Lincoln is just assuming that,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Miss
I
Sampson.
was talking about consumers. You ever get any help in that consumers affairs
In Trinidad?
office?
In
That
Trinidad?
office need to
What
be
name
shut
is it?
down.
Yeah.
Consumers affairs.
I always said
They
that
don't help anybody.
Consumer Affairs and Bureau Standards, they should shut down them two things in Trinidad.
Yes. Another thing, not police, doctors have the private office and still working in the hospital. Who's ever talking about that other guy? Why they don't tap into that? And I don't
What
think
are you stopping that, Miss
will
Sampson?
work in school. I think taser will be your best bet. Pepper spray is a waste of time in that situation. Tasers, all officers should have tasers because when they get in lip service and those women with powder on the chest up in the face, they could tase the tail. You all have a good day.
I don't know if you all saw a video of a young man. He was bareback and in short pants. It's somewhere in the States. And he had his hands up while police shining light on him and talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he is clearly not armed. I mean, he has on a short pants and he's bareback. His hands are up. And they shot him more than once and let loose a dog on him. Something wrong with police all over this world. All over this world. Something wrong with them. Some of them.
And that is why he put up his hands, to him, so that they could see that he has nothing. They still shoot him.
And they still shot him and they still let go the dog on him.
Ah, boy. I don't know how these people explain these things to their superiors,
I really don't know either, no?
I don't know. I really don't know. But good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Zena.
Good morning to Wendell and Richard. That foul cock, what he watched too much corn last night. Tired up this morning. Tired. He watched corn till he tired.
He didn't watch it.
He want. Wendell. Man, I run down that moon whole night. I can't see nothing turning. All I seen is a big super moon. I went in my bed, yes.
You didn't see a kind of a reddish tinge?
Pardon me?
I saw a kind of reddish tinge on it.
This morning? But I run down that moon whole night. I can't. Every few minutes I outside looking to see like it wasn't on this part of the earth really. Because they said it was going to last more than an hour.
Yes.
So people, they call a few places that, maybe in the real line of it.
Probably.
Yeah. I want to, what Lincoln said, I think that I heard that they won't be having guns, So I believe they will be putting other things in place. But I'm happy that it's not the entire police force that they take into to put in all these schools, and it's just maybe a few of the troubled ones. Right? But again, that alone wouldn't work. Because as I listened to that program week after week at Sinclair, the iron dependency, children out here need a lot of talking about the drugs. When I hear the amount of and different kind of drugs that they have out there, and my eyes open big and wide on my ear, I say all that they having in this world.
But yes,
so
but Zena,
now they're exposed.
Zena, you get the feeling that most of these, Zena, do you get the?
Pardon me, yes.
I was asking, do you get the feeling? Because I don't get the feeling that most of these children who are fighting are on drugs,
Not only drugs, that is what I was going to say. A lot of them come from troubled homes. You understand?
But you don't want to miss the program tomorrow.
It have other things that I hope that they would put in place to find out what is going on in the minds of these children.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, I think, need help. Right?
Yeah. Thanks very much, Zena.
Yeah, so that is my beef this morning. So you all have a good week coming up.
Okay. Thanks very much, Zena. What are you saying right now?
So, Charles, you could go ahead and put up the poll because we are polling the issue of police officers in schools this morning. That's our poll this morning. And I was just going to tell Zena, you don't want to miss tomorrow's program. Tomorrow we will have an anonymous guest who will talk about her issues with drug trafficking. That will be our guest. That program, you should not miss that program tomorrow. All right. We can't give her name and we can't identify who she is, but she will be talking to us about her experience with being charged for drug trafficking. All right. And this is in line of all the drug stories that are going around. Right?
I really look forward to it. But I believe that with the situation in schools, if there are other support mechanisms that can go into place, you can really make a difference with it, you know. But as I said, we have to sustain some of the things that we put in. If we are not prepared to go long term to make a difference, I remember last time. They had police patrols outside some of the schools, right? And where my daughter's going at Tranquil, on mornings we got to drop her off, and a few mornings you see them, but by the second and third week them gone.
Well, this is a squad dedicated, and this squad is dedicated to dealing with schools and so on. I think that's
because they'll be probably reporting in the schools or whatever is the case, you know. So.
Yes. So our poll is up, people. Do you support armed police officers in schools from today? That's our poll this morning. Controversial, but guess what? That's what we do on the show sometimes, you know.
Good morning, caller.
Hi, morning, my dear.
Morning, Susie. How are you doing?
Hi, morning, Sir Charles. Morning, Wendell. I said yes to the poll because it's about time they should have had that in the school already. Because, and then with the armed officers, yes to that. Because remember, these are high-risk schools. They don't have the element to deal with outside. At least let it try and be some kind of security inside. I mean, the regular guards who are there, they don't have no arms, but they only could do so much. So I am for it. I'm saying yes to the poll. And as usual, gentlemen, great program. And a blessed day to you all.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, so the poll is up. You can vote yes or no. And we have a couple of minutes. We could take a couple of your calls also at 281-1315. Okay.
Do you support armed police officers in schools from today? It's a controversial poll, but as I said, it's necessary. All right, police officers are expected in schools today. My response, I will probably be voting today.
I think I might also. We don't normally get involved in it in that way, but I don't think we should run from it sometimes.
I don't know why I feel my vote might be a tiebreaker today, but so I might vote.
Hello, good morning to you, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, Richard, Steve, and Wendell.
Sir Charles.
Morning to you, caller. I have all the names all over, but that's all right.
And Richard. Yes.
Sir Charles. Okay. It's been a while I haven't listened to the programs. I thought Steve and Paul Richard was still there.
No.
It's not Paul 102.
Yeah,
it's not Paul 102.
No, it's not.
It's not Paul 102.
Yeah, this is a whole new dispensation. We are new era TT radio, NEC radio.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
But go ahead, make a contribution.
Well, I am voting yes to the poll because over the several years, following different administrations, we have seen school violence increase, and the relevant school authorities are very powerless in dealing with these, as the Bible says, generation of vipers. So I welcome it, but it shouldn't be the only measure by the government. It should be additional measures to curb or stem or reduce school violence, because these children now, they are very out of hand, disrespectful. Just don't know what to say about them, but as the Bible says, generation of vipers. So we need something, a temporary stopgap.
Yeah, you need a strong one. All right, okay, no problem. Thanks very much, caller. Yeah, so we are boarding on 7 o'clock. We have our news straight ahead. So continue to vote throughout the news. We'll keep the poll up so that you'll be able to chime in on the votes. Anything you want to tell them before we go, Wendell?
No, except that don't forget our guests in the next hour after our poll will be Minister Khadija Ameen. Okay? Thank you.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean. I'm Derek. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar says one must have belly to stand against injustice. Speaking at the Ganesh Utsav Foundation Mandir in Otaheite on Friday, she likened her resilience to Lord Ganesh, saying faith and unity guide her leadership. Her remarks come as she faces mounting backlash over her endorsement of a U.S. military strike on a Venezuelan drug vessel that killed 11 suspects. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles labeled the comments reckless and dangerous, while international experts warned they risk undermining Tandinti's neutrality. Venezuela's Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello went further, attacking Prasad Bisesar personally and accusing her of siding with imperialism. At Friday's celebration, the Prime Minister avoided the controversy, instead praising India for recent donations of prosthetic limbs, dialysis machines, sea ambulances, and laptops. A quiet street in Marival was the scene of a dramatic police rescue on Sunday, as officers freed kidnapped Caribbean Airlines pilot Captain Daniel Kowal. The anti-kidnapping unit swooped in on 4th Street, just off Saddle Road, shortly before 11 a.m. Police say one suspect was killed in the operation, which ended Kowal's 5-day ordeal. The 42-year-old pilot, who lives in Valsay North, had last been seen Wednesday. That same night, his Toyota Hilux was spotted in Cascade, where residents reported hearing screams. By Friday, kidnappers demanded a $1 million ransom, triggering an island-wide manhunt. Thanks to coordinated intelligence, Kowal was safely rescued without ransom being paid. Police say investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, search teams led by Valence Rambarat are also looking for missing Charleville businessman Imraz Ali, last seen Thursday evening. His vehicle is still missing. The $98 million indemnity claim filed by convicted British King's Counsel Vincent Nelson against the state has been dismissed. Justice Jacqueline Wilson delivered the ruling on June 3, 2025, saying Nelson failed to prove that losses he claimed were linked to the state's actions. Justice Wilson also ruled that former Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi did not attempt to influence DPP Roger Gaspard when he recommended that Nelson not be prosecuted. The case centered on a controversial indemnity agreement signed in 2017, in which Nelson admitted paying alleged kickbacks to attorney Gerald Ramdeen and former AG Anand Ramlogan. The DPP had dropped criminal charges in 2022, but reserved the option to revisit them after the civil claim. Legal experts say this ruling could open the door for the DPP to reinstate charges. Nelson has since filed an appeal, while the state has also lodged a cross-appeal. Executive Chairman of NH International, Emil Elias, is calling on Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar to raise the US dollar exchange rate from $6.80 to $9. Elias says the move would end the black market overnight, rebuild reserves, and restore Trinidad and Tobago's economic credibility. He accused former Finance Minister Colum Imbert of wrecking the economy by fixing the rate for a decade, draining reserves, and ignoring repeated warnings. Elias also blamed former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley for enabling Imbert, saying their actions left the nation starved of foreign exchange and teetering on the brink of IMF intervention. He urged the Prime Minister to act boldly, as Patrick Manning and Wendell Motley did in 1993, warning that delay would only bring harsher pain under the IMF. Among his recommendations, a targeted food stamp program, higher electricity rates for the wealthy, and raising the minimum wage to $26 an hour. 95 Special Reserve police officers have graduated from the school-oriented policing course and will now be deployed to high-risk schools across the country. At Friday's graduation ceremony at the Police Academy, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Natasha George, told the officers they were pioneers, entrusted with the nation's most valuable resource, its children. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlath confirmed that when schools reopen tomorrow, armed officers will be temporarily stationed at 50 high-risk schools as part of the intervention. The officers received specialized training in child development, juvenile justice, conflict resolution, and community policing within schools. The TTPS says the initiative is aimed at restoring schools as safe, disciplined, and supportive spaces for learning. Finally, in international news, former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte is now in the custody of the International Criminal Court in The Hague, after his dramatic arrest in Manila on Tuesday. Authorities detained the 79-year-old leader on an Interpol warrant, charging him with crimes against humanity linked to his bloody anti-drugs crackdown that left thousands dead between 2011 and 2019. Duterte was flown out of the Philippines under heavy guard with a layover in Dubai before arriving in the Netherlands. His daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, has condemned the move as oppression, while supporters clashed with police outside the airbase in Manila. But human rights groups and relatives of victims hailed the arrest as a long-awaited step toward justice. The ICC says Duterte will face an initial hearing in due course. And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Oh yeah, Patrice again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Oh gosh, best job ever, best job ever, best job ever. In my mind, boy, my mind, hey, 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 hey. You give me an experience, baby. I'll never forget the way I put down working, darling. Had me soaking wet. And anytime I think about it, I just feel a heat. Cause if memory serves me right, by all I remember is how it's sweet. How I hold me, darling, and give me the best time of my life. Baby, hold anytime I think about it, I just feel a heat. Cause if memory serves me right, by all I remember is how it's sweet. How are you hold me, darling, and give me the best time of my life. Best time of my life. Best time. Baby, hold me, darling, and give me the best time of my life. Best time of my life. Best time. Baby,
Just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Well, if that is what you need, that is exactly what we're going to give you here on the Net New Era TT Radio. Above and beyond, going to give you the best jam of your life. Good to have you here, and of course, stay with us all day, every day on New Era TT Radio. Remember, your next engagement for those of you on the YouTube will be at 4 o'clock this afternoon inside of the Drive Time Exchange with Tony Fraser. So continue to vote on the poll. Remember, you're voting yes or no. Do you support armed police officers in schools? And when we come back, we're going to tabulate the poll, and then we're going to get into our guests for today. All right, stick around. We're coming back.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair. We do it all.
Experiencing stomach pain, nausea, heartburn, bloating, or loss of appetite. These could be signs of a stomach ulcer, which can lead to cancer if untreated. Your health isn't an expense, it's an investment. Don't wait. Get a safe, non-invasive stomach scan plus blood test for only $500 at the Institute of Health and Fitness. Located at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tanapune and Marabella. Contact us at 336-4935.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay.
All right. We are
After
back.
that news break, hope you got all the information that you guys were looking for in the news break there.
Yeah, I hope so too. Nobody going crazy over Derek this morning. All right, so let's get straight into the poll because we have a guest coming up shortly. So our poll this morning is: do you support armed police officers in schools from today? David McCarthy, you writing, Sir Charles?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's go. David McCarthy, absolutely not. Kazim Mohammed, no. Michael Oliver, no. Kenwin Henry, yes. Lester Cragwell, no. CJ from New York, yes. Cheryl Henry didn't vote. Donna Ramlo Chan, yes. Ava Smith, yes. Slick Money Grip, yes. Sankofa, yes. Julia Batiste, yes. Brennan Smith, yes. Robert Harper, Robert Harper, what is your vote really? Armed with a gun, no. Armed with other tools of the trade, yes. But our poll is armed.
Yeah.
I don't know if you. We never said armed with guns or armed with taser. We just said armed. Do you support armed police officers in schools from today? Because a police officer going in school without any kind of ammunition is useless. So armed. So don't try to change our poll. Armed. Cheryl Henry, no. Felix Cazot, no. Jason Samuel, yes. Police Eunice Dublin, sorry, no. Raina Roberts, no. Terrence Roach, again, police, yes. Armed, no. Our question is very straightforward. So I'm not
very
responding to all these others. No. Diana Hamill, no. Michael Cadet, yes. Anthony Atwell, yes. Josie Richardson, no. Apollinaris, no. Susan Jessup, yes. Magic trying to change my poll again too. Jasoja Ramla Kalawan, yes. Apollinaris trying to change my poll. Trini in Boston, no. Yes. Kenny in Harlem says yes. Dean Allen, no. Diana Payne, no. Diane, sorry. Margaret Thomas, yes. I'm not reading all these other things, yeah, people. Beauty culture, again, you're trying to change your poll. Melchizedek saying no guns will not solve the problem, Councillor. So you didn't vote either. Ilarizan, yes. Susie B, no. It's a simple yes or no, people. Michael Robinson, yes. Always give me hard work on a morning sometime. Jeez on ages. Crystal Stevenson, no. Carol Guevara, no. Robert Taylor, yes. Sherwin Kerr, yes. Suzette Jessup this time, yes. Patrick Billy, no. It's very straightforward. You're either supporting armed police officers in schools or not. Yes or no. Ozzy Molino, yes. Kurt Hope, yes. Maria Cellier, yes. Colted Finch, no. And Debbie Mitchell, yes. Those are the votes I have, Sir Charles. I ain't getting into all that debate about whether it's guns, whether it's good police officers. I ain't getting into that debate. The question's straightforward.
Yeah, very.
Again, unlike Richard this morning. Bye.
All right. So Judith in Mount St. George says yes. Miss Sampson didn't vote. Michael in Long Island says yes. Joseph Clement says no. Junior says yes. Ingrid says no. They started coming. Oh my word. Hello. Where did I stop? I stopped at Ingrid, right? Ingrid said yes. Brenda in Penal, I have to go into what Brenda says. Brenda says no. And Chris didn't vote. Captain Ron says yes. Mahi says no. Archbishop Ashton Clark says no. Somebody with no name says yes. Zena says no. Frank says no. And Joyce Phillips says yes.
All right. And I'm going to vote because, and I'm going to tell you, a police officer, an unarmed police officer, is just like an MTS guard who can't do nothing. So I voted yes. My vote is yes. I haven't voted on polls in a long time, but guess what? This was one of the things Mrs. Sadly said very early when she was sworn in, and I said yes, I would support it. I had no problem with it. Right? Yes. That's my vote. Go ahead and count up, Sir Charles. Count.
Right. Well, I ain't going to crumble by that count. All right, so the poll is now closed. Right? We had 60 people voting on the poll. And we had 35 people saying yes and 25 people saying no.
All right. So it was pretty
It was
close.
running neck and neck for a time, but
Yeah.
35 saying yes and 25 saying no.
Yeah. What is the point of a police officer who is not armed? If it is that we have a problem in schools and we want to nip it, we want to put a stop to it, what is the point of? And these are some of the same people supporting Stand Your Ground and they're saying no this morning. The worst thing is guns all over this country. You understand? But a police officer, I cannot say no to an unarmed police officer. Makes absolutely no sense at all. None. Absolutely none.
Yeah, I myself. And as I said, I believe it's some other support mechanisms, but we don't know exactly what are some of the other things that will go along with it. And but other than that, I support it myself. Regardless of
if it
whether
is that,
it's the tasers or pepper spray, whatever it is, you have to do something.
Yeah. Next thing you know, they go say, Moni put them in the school with big stone. Where we reaching with this? There's a police officer. As much as I have a real problem with police officers in this place, I can't see a police officer doing any job anywhere unarmed. It don't make sense.
All right, so that's the poll for today. So we will jump inside our Let's Talk feature with our guest because she doesn't have too much time this morning.
All right, let's go. Yeah. All right. Very sure.
All right.
You have a nice little picture there. She liked the picture in the yellow shirt though. I'm telling you one time. She preferred the picture in the yellow shirt. Good morning, Minister Ameen.
Good morning, Wendell. This picture is also fine. Good morning, guys in the studio.
Good morning.
Charles, how they treating you there, boy?
So far, everything is good. Don't worry.
All right. Good.
All right. Thanks for joining us this morning, Minister. You know, I want to start off by some really good news that I got over the weekend, and I say, but what is this, Minister working? I don't know if people are aware of this, but as of October 1st, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development will be increasing the rent for office accommodation for councillors from 2,500 to 3,500. The incidental allowance will be moving from 1,000 to 2,000, and the stipend for the councillors' office clerks will move from 3,000 to 3,009. If that is not good news for local government people, I don't know what is. Of course, they could get better news. But I think I want to compliment you, First Minister, on that piece of good news. And tell us what would have prompted that?
Well, the provision for officers and secretaries and this allowance for officers was first done by the UNC government when Kamla Persad-Bissessar was Prime Minister back in the 2010 period. And this really was never updated from 2010 to present. So the councillor's secretary little stipend was $2,500. It was never increased. So what happened essentially is that even the minimum wage went up, and they were being paid below the minimum wage. Now, when we were in opposition, we did ask about this, and Faris Alwari was minister at the time, and he indicated that he was getting legal advice. It was a whole legal process, and I was start trial, you know the man. And nothing happened, bottom line. So from January, when they increased the minimum wage, these people continued to receive less than minimum wage. And when we came in government, it was a matter of just bringing a cabinet note, because we would have cited the cabinet note that was in that 2010 period. And then we just updated it. And it also included the rent, because the rent was also $2,500. And when as a councillor for some time, it becomes difficult, particularly in certain areas, to find uh, an office space for that amount. So at the time it was approved, it was fine. But as property prices increase, it meant that you had more difficulty finding office spaces. And so the ministry started to give individual approval for councillors to have office space outside of their electoral district because they could not find one within the price range for the $2,500. So time and time they would be bringing these, and the former ministers would have signed off on those and really not fixed the problem. So this note also would have addressed that, increasing the rental allowance from $2,500 to $3,500. The Of course, when you have an office, there are costs, right? So some councillors would have to just simple things like to buy stationery, to have tea in the office, tea and coffee. Some of them have to pay their little utility bills and thing now,
Yeah.
according to what the rental arrangement is. So that we increased that from $1,000 to $2,000. The office clerk's stipend went up from $3,000. Sorry, I said 2,500 earlier. It
Yeah,
is the rent that, it was 3,000. The rent was 2,500 and went up to 3,005. And the clerks were being paid $3,000, which was below minimum wage. That has gone to $3,900 per month now.
All right. Well, as I say, that I think that's great news, and I've been on record, even though to the chagrin of a lot of PNM people, saying that the improvements in local government have come under the UNC. I've said that from since back in Carlos John Day, because I've been around that long. But tell me something, what is happening though with the back pay for local government people? Because I know a lot of them would have had the increase done a couple months ago.
So the Salary Review Commission agreed to an increase in the salaries for councillors and aldermen, and with that, in the midterm review, the government agreed and put money aside for that. They are in the process. Some corporations have not completed their calculations, so when they calculate what is owed, they will then have it audited, and then the ministry will pay it.
So is there a timeline on that?
It's the usual timeline. There are no delays thus far. What I know, there is a concern because there are some corporations where they indicate that the auditors told them verbally, we have nothing in writing, that the councillors who are committees, those who are chairman of standing committees, they recognize those committees should get an allowance, but they believe that any committee other than a standing committee is a subcommittee, and subcommittees by law, the chairman don't receive the little stipend. It's $800, and the councillors are fearful that it will be deducted from their back pay. Myself and the PS, we do not support this position. We have made it very clear. We have gone to the CPO, who has provided our legal guidance in terms of who should get it, and we are very clear that both the standing committee and the what you call ad hoc committees are allowed to get that allowance. So we will not be approving any deductions for people who are not chairman of standing committees.
Right, and I'm also in total agreement with that, because a lot of these committees were aligned with the local government reform system that was supposed to come in. Not so?
Well, in any case, since listen, they're talking about local government reform since Hazel Manning days. But the truth is that we have not had any meaningful reform apart from the change where you had under the UNC government on the previous term, where you had proportional representation being introduced for
For
the
all the men, yeah.
election of aldermen. But outside of that, there has been no real legislative change. The last set of local government laws that were passed in Parliament, they only proclaimed the section that allowed the term to change from 3 years to 4 years, and that was an attempt to postpone the election. There's no other section of that law proclaimed. So the reform that you need is really to strengthen local government, to give them the teeth to do what they have to do. In the regional corporations, you have several departments that are not necessarily aligned with the standing committees. So, for instance, you have a public health stand in the four standing committees. You have finance, which will be aligned with the accounts department. You have public health aligned with the public health department, where you have the doctors and the public health officers and inspectors. You have the physical infrastructure, which will be aligned with the engineer and so on. You have four standing committees, right?
I
But
think personnel, which will be aligned with
personnel.
the
Correct. Personnel will deal with the HR issues and aligned with the PIRO department. But you have other departments, so like disaster, for instance. Many corporations have a disaster committee, which they are allowed to appoint a chairman of disaster. And that person is entitled to a stipend, as the law indicates. The convener of a meeting or the chairman of a committee would get that stipend. So you have things like disaster, you have security, you have welfare committees, you have other committees that deal with issues within the corporation, but also deal with employee issues. So over the years, you have had things like the Sports and Recreation Facility Committee that deals specifically with recreation facilities and sporting programs within the region. That is very important. Some of them include youth in their mandate. So the terms are determined by the corporation, by the council, and therefore those councillors who are chairman of those committee are entitled by law. And if there is any opinion that says that these are subcommittees, there are provisions for subcommittees, and subcommittees are not paid, but these are not subcommittees. So I am very clear about it. The PS is also very clear. We have an opinion, written opinion from the CPO. Talga has written to me with their concerns, and I'm due to meet them, but I'm always interacting and having conversation with their members. So I am very, very clear that the position that when the corporations are completed with the calculation of their back pay after it is audited, when it comes to the ministry, they will be paid.
Okay. Now, Minister, I know that CPEP does not fall under your ministry anymore, but certainly URP does.
Yes.
What is happening with those particular programs in light of the fact that it was touted that there were criminal gangs involved and so on? Isn't that a reason to just deal with people who are suspected of this type of activity, as opposed to the entire program shutting down for as long as it has? Any update?
Well, let me tell you, the entire program has been terribly corrupted from the top right down. We have changed, of course, the program manager. We have appointed deputy program managers, but we are in the process of restructuring the program so that people, one, will have more meaningful work, and you will have a little more job security, so that it would not be the situation where it's temporary. You work for a fortnight and you're not sure if you're working again, where people taxing you. You had ghosts in the offices. You had a very senior member in the URP administration whose daughter lived abroad, who was going to university abroad, who was being paid as a person in the office and never reporting to work. You had several. It is littered with that. So we are not about replacing the PNM corruption and giving the UNC people the ghosts. We are not about that. We are about getting rid of the ghosts completely. So we will be in the process of restructuring the program, and I think people will be happy that they will get better paying jobs and they will do more meaningful work.
Yeah, is there a timeline on that? Because schools have started back today, and a lot of the people who would have been dependent on these programs are heavily dependent on getting their children out to school and so on. Is there a timeline on those programs restarting?
Because of the way the program will be restructured, those things will happen after the next budget. There's a lot of realignment to do in terms of the finances as well, that we are assiduously working on. And what I can tell you is that, of course, in local government, I always advocate for strengthening local government and strengthening the regional corporations. But you will see the rollout of those things after the budget.
Okay. But let me go back to a little piece of bacchanal then. Is the reason for the increases for local government people and so on, is that a precursor to possibly an early local government election?
Oh, absolutely not. Let me tell you, UNC is strengthening local government. Our record for that is well established. We don't only strengthen local government when there's a local government election. And I know that the previous administration would have only brought up local government matters when there was a local government election. We have a record of strengthening local government, empowering local government. The matter with these increases that we discussed earlier, the arrangements for the offices and the accommodation and the staff for councillors, was a matter that was on our agenda even in opposition. We had been making calls to the previous government to at least deal with those people who are getting below minimum wage. So whereas you had councillors, office clerks getting $3,000, it has now been increased to $3,900 per month. The incidental allowance has been increased from $1,000 a month to $2,000. And the maximum rent for accommodation have been increased from $2,500 to $3,500 per month. And that is because it is due. The last time this was done, it was in the 2010 period. People have fallen below minimum wage. Councillors cannot find offices in some areas within the limit, within their electoral districts. And so this is something that should have been done. And we are correcting an injustice by bringing this. So it was a simple cabinet note. Cabinet approved immediately, and the PS has informed all CEOs so that this will now take full effect.
Yeah. What are some of the other things we could look forward to coming out of your ministry? Because your ministry would be responsible for a lot of the issues in terms of potholes, the street signage, all these other local issues that we face. What are some of the plans coming out of your ministry?
Well, very
early. I'm on record as saying local government reform is a hoax, right? So I just hope you're going down the road of another hoax with local government reform.
Listen, I have been hoaxed. I have been hoaxed myself as a councillor who served several years under the previous administration. I have been hoaxed in the Manning administration, in the Rowley administration. Councillors were never really given that sense of importance.
You conveniently skip one, the Rambachan / whoever else.
Well, that was under the Kamla Prasad Bisesa administration. So I just called the prime ministers.
Okay.
So I'm saying that I was hoaxed. Under the Kamla Prasad Bisesa time in government, we saw a lot of improvement in local government. And a lot of it did not take legislation. In terms of efficient spending, ensuring that the corporations get the allocations that they are given in the budget. In the last government, they had something I call suppression of funds, where they will put an allocation on a line item. You apply for the funding and it is never released. And then they report it as savings, and then they chastise the corporations for not being able to spend their money efficiently. And while the truth is that many of those corporations never receive their releases. So
not expected to change.
So that is expected to change, and of course, under the Kamla Prasad Bisesa government, many councils would have had the opportunity to spend their allocation, do in the work that is required, particularly under their development program. And if they complete that development program by mid-year, they would get additional funding to do more projects for the community. But of course, they have to request the funds early and have their projects ongoing, completed, and then they would get more funds. So we have always empowered local government in that way. One of the things that we recognized as well is that I have started to do is that many of the corporations have units such as public health, engineering, disaster, and so on. And the Rural Development Ministry is a coordinating ministry. And some of these, for instance, we have a disaster coordinator at the head office, and we've been able to efficiently do disaster management and reach out to all the corporations in a coordinated manner. But there is no person or unit at the ministry responsible for public health, for instance. So we have a LED unit, local economic development, that is very important to empowering communities. We do not have a LED unit at the at the ministry. So I recently took a note to cabinet to establish an LED unit at the ministry, and that will now be a coordinating unit for all the regional corporations, so that we will all be on the same page and we will advance in better in terms of more efficiency. So there will be the realignment doesn't require a change in law. It requires political will. And a lot of what we will also be doing is incorporating public-private partnerships. And so with that regard, I have several conversations ongoing. So for instance, I'll tell you, sargassum weed has been an issue, particularly on the East Coast. But whenever Trinidad experiences the influx of the sargassum, we have regional corporations fighting up to clean the beaches. This requires specialized equipment. We have received from the Japanese government a gift of equipment specially designed for sargassum removal from the beach, and the regional corporations have already been engaged. And we also have on the way here being shipped at present boats that will remove the sargassum in the water before it reaches to the beach. But what do we do? Because this really does create a public health hazard. Sometimes you have dead fishes and other sea animals, and when the seaweed starts to rot, it also emits a toxic gas called sulfide, so it smells like rotten eggs. And the removal of it is a public health issue, as well as to allow the fishermen to have their livelihood, to allow tourists to visit the beach. And also we have to consider the turtle nesting grounds. So that we are also in conversation with persons who use the sargassum weed to produce everything from body oils to fertilizers. And so we will be facilitating those entrepreneurs and encouraging new entrepreneurs to utilize the sargassum weed. And of course, they can also export their products, which brings in a foreign exchange to the country. So that is one of our initiatives. We also have planned as you know, Cabinet appointed a committee to come up with a uniform policy for gating communities and restricting access to local roads for security purposes. And this committee has been approved, so that committee will be meeting with several stakeholders, including the regional corporations, including committees, but also including security companies who have been working with communities to provide that kind of support. So in that regard, we have already started getting advice and guidance from some of these companies, and that should help to make some certain communities safer. But this committee is ready to just to come up with the policy to guide all the regional corporations, because regional corporations do have the power and authority over local roads at present. But we also recognize that agriculture areas are also affected, because when you have stolen cars being stripped in some of those agriculture access roads, you have those access roads being used as getaway for criminals. Restricting access there could help in terms of deterring the criminals. So it's not going to prevent completely, but it certainly will be a deterrent. And we want to ensure that we have a uniform policy across every region. So, and with regards to potholes, of course, that is one of the pet peeves across the nation. Because you have had, the last government had $200 million assigned to a secondary roads company, that they totally, I don't know, just corruption, the money just evaporated and very little work was done. And you have so many roads throughout the country that are in a state of disrepair. We will be addressing that. And I really want, as again, this is another way of empowering the regional corporations so that they could get the roads in their communities in good order. Because what we recognize that poor roads conditions also affects almost every aspect of life. Because when school children, when the road collapse and the school bus have to pass another route, they increase the prices because they use more gas. We have local tourist sites that are difficult to access because of poor roads. If you want to leave now to go to the mud volcano, you may not be able to reach there because of the poor road condition. If you want to go to Mayaro, Rio Claro, Guaya, Princestown, Moruga, many of those places, the roads are so bad that people don't even want to go. You try to go Harry's Water Park now. If you have motion sickness, you have to stop about 5 times to vomit.
But I don't think that secondary roads company ever got off the ground. You mentioned that was corruption. I don't think that ever got off the ground.
Well, $200 million of our money jump up and gone.
Well, it was allocated. I don't think it was ever released, was it? I think that was left up to the local government ministry.
No, they awarded. No, it was 100 million was allocated to it in local government. They didn't do anything, and then it went to Ministry of Works, where they awarded several contracts, and the corruption involved there will be under some investigation. Yeah. So I don't know how much road they ever paved, but we didn't get $200 million worth of road paving at all.
Now, Mal, somebody in the chat here asked an important question, though, Minister Ameen. She says about how are they paying for these increases in local government if the talk is that the treasury empty, because it will be an increase in cost to the government.
Yes, certainly. And a lot of people are asking, when we talk about initiatives, they're asking where you're getting the money to pay for it. One of the biggest savings is cutting out corruption. So I will tell you, the CPEP would have consumed about $300 million. The reforestation program was $100 million. You had the URP, which had reached 300, but could reach up to $400 million. That right there is, you're talking about significant savings.
Yeah, but Minister, we can't, how I should put it, link all of that to corruption. I think it's unfair to link all these programs as if the entire thing was corrupt. You would have had corrupt people through all different administrations, but I don't think it's fair to say that $300 million was all linked to corruption.
Well,
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's
you hearing me?
Internet. Yes, yeah.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, we're hearing you. I think
we are hearing you. We are hearing you. Go ahead. Yeah, the internet's giving a little.
Yeah, it's coming on good. She's probably on the road already. That's why.
Yeah, she's probably.
Mr. Ameen, are you hearing us? Yeah, because you're hearing corruption, but surely all all this can't be linked directly to corruption.
But she did say cutting out the corruption. So it may not directly be like all the money that was allocated to all of these institutions may have been corrupted. But if a significant part of it is corrupted,
we can't say a significant part of it.
Yeah, but let's say any part of it then. If we do that, we understand, because we are not in a position to measure it. You know, Miss Ameen, are you back with us? Yeah, I think it now dropped.
Yeah. All right. We're going to. Well, we were coming up on the end of the interview anyway. I didn't even realize we had gone over the time. All right. Let me just message until we lost.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, you know, we do appreciate the fact that that Miss Ameen took some time out to. It just went down.
Yeah. She's back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Go ahead, Minister.
Yeah, I was sharing with you that by removing corruption across the board, there are many areas, for instance, in HDC, in works, in other areas where there were programs with mismanagement of funds. And by cutting out the corruption, you will have significant savings. And it is also about priority. But I want to also tell you, you see, political will makes a huge difference. When I became minister, we had some heavy showers in the month of May. And we had an extensive flood mitigation program across the country. And we used the existing equipment and manpower. And we did tremendous work, and it reduced the flooding. It worked. And we did not spend any additional money. It meant utilizing the resources that we have in a better way, more efficiently, to get better results. So I think the huge difference you have here is people who know and understand the ground, and people who have that political will. So in local government, I have been a local government employee. I have been a local government councillor. And I have, you have the interest of the fraternity at heart, and therefore you will get that passion, you will get that commitment to work. And you have, a doctor, a man who has been a medical practitioner for many years in Dr. Bodo and health. You have Dr. Rishi Sitra, and also a medical doctor who know the fraternity.
Government there? Is that what you do?
No, so I'm telling you why across the board you will get more efficiency.
No argument about you. No argument about you. I have always said that you are well suited to this ministry, and I would be very disappointed if you failed. Very disappointed.
But I'm telling you that I'm part of a team, and what you have is the difference is political will. You have people who are experienced in the field, and that is what makes the difference. You are partial to local government, but it is happening in other areas as well. And the guidance of our of our prime minister in every sphere to ensure that we are boots on the ground. Boots on the ground means a term. It means being hands-on. It means being there, being present, pushing. And that has been her mantra to us, and that commitment from her as a prime minister to pay attention to every detail when it comes to governance really influences, I think, how ministers operate as well.
Yeah. Before we end the interview, what I would like to find out, how are things in your St. Augustine area? Because I know, there was time things were very heated in that area where the crime is concerned. I don't really hear much of it these days, so I'm supposing that things are settling down. Can you give us an update as to how your area is being?
Yeah, up to Friday, we were in the train line and in some of those areas that had a lot of crime, distributing school supplies. I did a house-to-house distribution. Thanks to sponsors, people and churches and so on who sponsored. Many of those areas we recognize need special attention, and I have been working with NGOs and the TTPS in terms of increasing our presence there, but also attending to some of the underlying issues, dealing with school dropouts, dealing with poor families, and that kind of thing. And we will continue because we recognize that getting our children trained and qualified so they will get meaningful jobs is also important in reducing crime. Attending to mothers who are just struggling like emotionally, it's a lot for them to deal with. Having those programs to build them up is also part of it. So while I'm so grateful for my sponsors who recognize that I've been an on the ground MP and they have supported by providing book bags and vouchers for children for back to school and so on. So we have been able to target, and in particular, every child in the Monty Grant area, every child in Makoya settlement, every child in the train line, every child in the Dukising extension area. These were identified as the at-risk areas. And of course, we also give to the wider community several places. But we were able to identify sponsors who were able to cover the entire area in those at-risk areas. And in some of those areas, we are actually working with the Hand-in-Hand Foundation and the TTPS, because they are doing several other things as well there to reduce crime and make the communities safer.
A lot of work is taking place. What about as we move into the rainy season, and we're going to have a problem with mosquitoes and stuff, and is local government able to deal with that? What are you all doing where that is concerned?
Insect Vector Control Division really falls under the Ministry of Health. Over the years, because governments have not strengthened that division as it should be, the local government, regional corporations have picked up some of the duties. Some of them have purchased ULV machines to provide to the Insect Vector Division for them to spray. Some of them have been doing the spraying themselves. And you recall a couple of years ago, we had reached crisis proportions with the dengue situation. Several persons died. I'm so happy you asked this question, because the government of India, when Prime Minister Modi visited, has given a grant to our country to do work. Well, it's called a Quick Impact Program. And this grant, we have utilized that for this fiscal to purchase ULV machines. So we did have a meeting with the Minister of Health and the local government, together with the PS and the teams from both ministries. They are in the process of providing me with the specifications for the machines, and the Indian High Commissioner is facilitating the purchase of more ULV machines, so that some will be assigned to the Insect Vector Control Division, some will go to the regional corporations who have the systems in place to do the spraying, but we will have increased ULV machines and equipment available to them.
Minister, one last question before we close. I would have noticed how I should put it, a policy shift, if that's the word I'm looking for, in terms of local government, elected local government people being placed on state boards and so on. Something that we've not really seen in the past. Is that deliberate? And what is and you want to shed any light on that issue? I think we've had 3 so far.
We have had several. The Prime Minister's approach to have persons from all walks of life serve on boards, rather than having just a few people serving on multiple boards and friend and family of high officials serving on these boards. We have moved away from that completely. The Prime Minister has a policy where she would ensure that local government representatives are on state boards, because they do work with communities, and many of these enterprises have to have a community focus. And we also have union representatives appointed as board members. So several persons whom the various unions have recommended have been appointed on state boards. And to me, what that will do is allow the decisions of the board to be more in alignment with the public interest and the public good.
No, it is a shift that I observed, and it is a shift, I have to tell you, that I support. Because local government people, as I say, suffered for years because they've just not had the opportunities that other people have had. People feel satisfied that, hey, you're a counselor, that's it. You can't be nothing else. So it's something that I do support, and I look forward to more of it. All right. Any closing words, Minister? We lost her again.
Okay. The internet fell out again. Just at that point.
Yeah, well, we're right up on 8 o'clock. So in any event, we would have been bringing the interview to an end. So thank you very much, Minister Khadija Ameen. I also wanted to touch on that issue of rural development. I know that it was envisaged that part of the ministry be dispensed with, that it only becomes local government after a period of time. I don't know what happened. She's back.
She's back very briefly as we close.
Just close off.
Yeah, what I can tell you is that we as a government, we believe in empowering local government. And so the shifts that you are observing is in alignment with that. Many of our ministries will work closely with our regional corporations in their delivery, and I'm very happy about that. Our local government councillors and aldermen, as well as representatives of the unions and NGOs, are being appointed to several state boards. That as well will allow their decisions to be more in alignment with what is happening on the ground. We will be focusing, of course, on ensuring that some of the corruption is weeded out. That will allow us to have more funds available to do things for the people. And so you will see more things happening on the ground in terms of disaster relief, in terms of infrastructure development, where roads and bridges that has been abandoned for many years, we'll be attending to them. And you will see that type of progress as we go along.
Okay. Right. Well, Minister, thank you so much for being with us here on your TT Radio and, of course, Gael Caribbean. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And don't hesitate to encourage your colleagues now, please. All right.
Goodbye, Wendell. You are my friend. Goodbye.
So people, stay with us. We're going to do the news, and then we are right back.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Gael Caribbean. I'm Derek. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesar says one must have belly to stand against injustice. Speaking at the Ganesh Utsav Foundation Mandir in Otaheite on Friday, she likened her resilience to Lord Ganesh, saying faith and unity guide her leadership. Her remarks come as she faces mounting backlash over her endorsement of a U.S. military strike on a Venezuelan drug vessel that killed 11 suspects. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles labeled the comments reckless and dangerous, while international experts warned they risk undermining Tandinti's neutrality. Venezuela's Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello went further, attacking Prasad Bisesar personally and accusing her of siding with imperialism. At Friday's celebration, the Prime Minister avoided the controversy, instead praising India for recent donations of prosthetic limbs, dialysis machines, sea ambulances, and laptops. A quiet street in Marival was the scene of a dramatic police rescue on Sunday, as officers freed kidnapped Caribbean Airlines pilot Captain Daniel Kowal. The anti-kidnapping unit swooped in on 4th Street, just off Saddle Road, shortly before 11 a.m. Police say one suspect was killed in the operation, which ended Kowal's 5-day ordeal. The 42-year-old pilot, who lives in Valsay North, had last been seen Wednesday. That same night, his Toyota Hilux was spotted in Cascade, where residents reported hearing screams. By Friday, kidnappers demanded a $1 million ransom, triggering an island-wide manhunt. Thanks to coordinated intelligence, Kowal was safely rescued without ransom being paid. Police say investigations are ongoing. Meanwhile, search teams led by Valence Rambarat are also looking for missing Charleville businessman Imraz Ali, last seen Thursday evening. His vehicle is still missing. The $98 million indemnity claim filed by convicted British King's Counsel Vincent Nelson against the state has been dismissed. Justice Jacqueline Wilson delivered the ruling on June 3, 2025, saying Nelson failed to prove that losses he claimed were linked to the state's actions. Justice Wilson also ruled that former Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi did not attempt to influence DPP Roger Gaspard when he recommended that Nelson not be prosecuted. The case centered on a controversial indemnity agreement signed in 2017, in which Nelson admitted paying alleged kickbacks to attorney Gerald Ramdeen and former AG Anand Ramlogan. The DPP had dropped criminal charges in 2022, but reserved the option to revisit them after the civil claim. Legal experts say this ruling could open the door for the DPP to reinstate charges. Nelson has since filed an appeal, while the state has also lodged a cross-appeal. Executive Chairman of NH International, Emil Elias, is calling on Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar to raise the US dollar exchange rate from $6.80 to $9. Elias says the move would end the black market overnight, rebuild reserves, and restore Trinidad and Tobago's economic credibility. He accused former Finance Minister Colum Imbert of wrecking the economy by fixing the rate for a decade, draining reserves, and ignoring repeated warnings. Elias also blamed former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley for enabling Imbert, saying their actions left the nation starved of foreign exchange and teetering on the brink of IMF intervention. He urged the Prime Minister to act boldly, as Patrick Manning and Wendell Motley did in 1993, warning that delay would only bring harsher pain under the IMF. Among his recommendations, a targeted food stamp program, higher electricity rates for the wealthy, and raising the minimum wage to $26 an hour. 95 Special Reserve police officers have graduated from the school-oriented policing course and will now be deployed to high-risk schools across the country. At Friday's graduation ceremony at the Police Academy, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Natasha George, told the officers they were pioneers, entrusted with the nation's most valuable resource, its children. Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlath confirmed that when schools reopen tomorrow, armed officers will be temporarily stationed at 50 high-risk schools as part of the intervention. The officers received specialized training in child development, juvenile justice, conflict resolution, and community policing within schools. The TTPS says the initiative is aimed at restoring schools as safe, disciplined, and supportive spaces for learning. Finally, in international news, former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte is now in the custody of the International Criminal Court in The Hague, after his dramatic arrest in Manila on Tuesday. Authorities detained the 79-year-old leader on an Interpol warrant, charging him with crimes against humanity linked to his bloody anti-drugs crackdown that left thousands dead between 2011 and 2019. Duterte was flown out of the Philippines under heavy guard with a layover in Dubai before arriving in the Netherlands. His daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte, has condemned the move as oppression, while supporters clashed with police outside the airbase in Manila. But human rights groups and relatives of victims hailed the arrest as a long-awaited step toward justice. The ICC says Duterte will face an initial hearing in due course. And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davantry tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Experiencing stomach pain, nausea, heartburn, bloating, or loss of appetite. These could be signs of a stomach ulcer, which can lead to cancer if untreated. Your health isn't an expense, it's an investment. Don't wait. Get a safe, non-invasive stomach skin plus blood test for only $500 at the Institute of Health and Fitness. Located at number 79 St. Vincent Street, Tanapune and Marabella. Contact us at 336-4935.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
And just like that, we have reached the end of our show. Just like that, you know?
Just like that.
It just happened so fast today.
In talking with the MP there, Wendell, and so that's why it's so important to, and I just like you, I believe if Khadija doesn't succeed in local government, because for me, she's like the best pick for local government.
She is.
And I think our government needs to recognize that. It's the same thing I was saying with you, if they had decided to give you the opportunity to be mayor for the Spain or to represent your St. James area, you see the kind of heart that you have and the experience that you have, boy, you that makes so many things happen in that area. But
yeah. So, I mean, that is life. Yes, I get so accustomed to it, but I'm happy now that local government get a break, even if it's after I'm there, because I really think Khadija will do well there. Once she keeps focus and she keeps the right people around her, I think she will do well, because look at what happened in a short space of time. Local government councillors, all the clerks getting an increase, the office accommodation getting an increase, the stationery getting just like that. I mean, with no fanfare, no big announcement, it is going to happen as of October. You know what I mean? And PNM don't listen to me now. I don't know what to say now.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. But,
just as it goes, Wendell, you were listening to the news. You hear the international story with the Rodrigo de Torres in the Philippines. There, he's now before before the international course. Maybe the man was cleaning up the place and locking up everybody and people.
That Duterte?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he has now been. But he has left office, and they have a new person in charge. Well, the international court have arrested him for these international crimes.
No surprises.
Yeah.
You can't talk about killing people violently and think that that's acceptable, because that's how we used to talk. You used to say death for the drug dealers and death. You can't speak like that when you're heading a nation. If you want to do your thing, do it quietly.
But he was more or less stricken, he was more than just talking, Remember,
he was actually doing
a lot
it.
of people disappear and died and all kind of thing on there,
Rodrigo Duterte, I can't forget her name.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was anyway. These mad people we have running countries sometimes, huh?
Anyhow, I'd say we're gonna
tomorrow,
leave
as I said, you don't want to miss the show.
Yeah. Come in early tomorrow, eh?
Yeah. Who's that?
The people.
Oh,
listeners, viewers.
Yeah. So we will see you folks
You must
tomorrow.
tell them what's happening tomorrow. Tell them what's going on tomorrow.
Tomorrow we will be interviewing an anonymous person concerning drug trafficking. We will get their perspective because they will, they'll tell you the story. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, going behind the scenes.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it, right? We're going deep in the belly of the drug trafficking world tomorrow. All right? Well, you think the U.S. Sending ships out there? Well, guess what? We circling with more than ships tomorrow. Anyway, folks, have a wonderful day. Be careful on the roads. I would imagine I hear people bawling about the traffic already. I will vent you out a little later. All right? Take care. Tomorrow, please God. Bye-bye.
All right, so people remember, stay on the stream. New Era Radio TT.com continues all day, every day at New Era TT Radio.com, as you see in the ticker tape at the bottom there. And of course, New Era TT Radio on TuneIn and all your Alexa and Google devices. So until tomorrow, this has been
The Breakfast Show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on.